Hey there, welcome back to the table. Moscow is going to start the round. We have to pick our cards and pay our 6 ducats, which we finally have a plentiful bounty of ducats, even though I do have a debt I need to pay off. We are sitting on a bunch of green cards. I would like to at least have the development card, but with that being said, I think it's time to, because I'm going to possibly lose this advisor and actually this one. I need to start thinking about replacing advisors. So I'm going to actually draw one of each. I want to, but let's draw this and make sure it's an advisor. Ooh, it's Naval Traditions. That's a really good one. It's going to be good for our exploration. I guess I could use that one for the advisor. Not a great one, but alright, so then I want to get a military one. Not the best. That's going to be discard material. And then, should I go for another green? Sure, I'll draw one of each. And that's a really good advisor, that one right there. It's also a really good card. Lets me expand a trade node or a small into a large, which was one of the ones I was hoping to find before I actually got the free growth. And it costs one less if I have a development like this one already in play. But I like it for the +3. It would be a great replacement for Da Vinci if I lose him. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's move this up. I'm going to lose 6 ducats for that. I almost always try to keep the cards, even if I have too many. If I ever do a growth, I can always discard 2 cards to draw another. Use it to get subjugate or something like that. Like I said, I'm starting to like England the most because I don't have to rely on subjugate cards to do what I want to do. But with that said, that unrest period was brutal. And I did lose territory to France. So there's a lot of negatives with being England, and I lost a lot of points, and you can see I'm really far behind. So it's not the perfect country, but in terms of like playstyle, it's more relaxing to not have to constantly look for a subjugate card. With that being said, I think Castile is actually pretty decent because you can get subjugate cards eventually, and Aragon is a wonderful annexation if you could pull it off. All right, and so is Portugal actually. Okay, so Moscow was first. Looking at their situation, they got some unrest. Let's go convert, convert, and they will convert. Actually, they're going to spend 1. They're going to gain 2 points for this, so they're way up in the points category. And they have a diverse faiths token they need to get rid of, so that is gone. Not bad for 1 cube. That costs us way more than that. Denmark. They are very stable. They are also going to convert. So 1 cube. Or a diverse faith token is going to go away. And 2 points for Denmark. They are right here. All of them are ahead of me. Okay. Moving on to Mamluks. They have themselves a pretty steady situation. Diplomacy. They're going to get even stronger. One of these cards is going to go away. Going to flip that over and shuffle, shuffle. Alright, so diplomacy for the Mamluks. I don't know. Well, they got alliances everywhere. So, because they have alliances everywhere, I don't think they should have been creating even more alliances in the past. I think I might have screwed up with them. But we'll start with one of the earlier ones, which was this one. And see, they got 2 cubes, so they will be annexing this one. So 2 cubes are going to be spent. And this alliance goes away. And then they'll annex Karaman. Because that's what they should have been doing with all these alliances. So, yeah, this one here, because remember I kept saying, where's the Kazakhstan or whatever? I think when I did this, I was supposed to be annexing one of these instead. But we'll keep going. I'm not going to try to retcon that because I don't remember what I did back then. Venice. I'm just checking to make sure there aren't any of these situations. Alright, so Venice is going to remove unrest, which they definitely need to do. I'm going to cause this card to go away. And shuffle, shuffle. Alright, unrest for Venice is a big deal. They got this one and one of these. Okay, done for them. Ottomans. Unrest for the Ottomans, also a big deal. That's a subjugate right on top. Alright, I would say this one and that one. France has all kinds of stuff going on. Their army's already there, so they're going to spend 2 to siege. And take those 2 away. Now, if France can go to war with somebody, that would be a great opportunity for me to try to take Brittany and Normandy back. I need France to be at war, though, because they need to have a reason to spend their cubes on someone else. Okay, Spain, who's becoming quite the little empire here. Colonize. Now, this is an interesting one. They only have 2 colonists, which is not going to be enough, but I don't remember what they do. I think they're just going to add more colonists, but let's go check out. They have 2, and a colonial connected to the capital via continuous chain bot of ships. The answer is yes, but they don't have 3. So it says remove all from the colonist pool and put a town there. Boy, they get to cheat all the time, don't they? They only needed 2. Alright, so we're going to grab the 2 cubes. That is just 2, right? Yes. They would have gained a point. And yeah, they get to put a town out here on Florida. So they now have... And that means they're not going to be getting colonists anymore. Not until they explore again. And do they score points for that? No. Okay. They just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, now it's to us. What are we going to do first? I want to get my stability up. Being able to remove unrest and add 2 cubes is very powerful. That's one thing I really want to do. I want to explore. I have this naval traditions, which is going to let me, look at this, for 1 cube, and I don't have to spend a military cube anymore. I get to explore just for 1 of those cubes. That is valuable. I have these harbor refugees, which I can use to boost my colonists. I have so many things to do. I can do revolutionary ideas, but I don't, other than getting the 3rd merchant, I don't know what out here I want. This one is sort of nice. That would cost me 4 of those cubes, though. Obviously, this would be good, but so would cannons. The question now becomes, what is the order I want to do things? Well, if I can get the colonists out and get one of these 2 into a town, that will let me finish this mission. Which then would let me gain a colonist, and I can expand the English Channel. So let's try to do that. I'm going to play a Harbor Refugees. Also, I need to get rid of some of my cards here. This is going to cost me 1 and 2. So 1 of these cubes and 2 ducats. And I'll just read the other one for what it does. I'm going to gain a number equal to my colonial colonies plus 1. In this case, it's only going to be 3, because that's a town now. So I have 2 plus 1 is 3. I could have gotten a maximum of 4. I'm going to take it back. I'm taking it back. I just realized the order I want to do things now. So I'm going to put the cube back. I'm going to give myself the 2 ducats back. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explore one more time. So that way when I play the card, I'm going to get the maximum of 4 colonists. Right now I would only get 3 colonists for playing the card. So I have to do another explore action. So I got a lot of choices here. I can explore again in North America, which would put another ship out here. And that would guarantee that I'm going to get near the top, because I'd have 1, 2, 3 ships and a merchant. That's already 4 points. And then these towns alone should get me where I need to go. Or I should consider going into Africa, which is going to be harder because there's only a 1 or a 2 down here. There's no 3s. But if I try to go down here, I will at least have something started. And that would let me go to East Africa and then eventually to India. And to be quite honest, the East Indies is the magical mecca. There's some huge money to be had here. And we're allowed to peek. So, for example, let's go in here into... Like, look at what cards have already been played. The fish are 7 and 9 at the top. See, that one's 9 and 11. That's 11 and 14, one of the better ones that we're going to get, right? And then if you start getting into the North America ones, which tobacco is 14 and 16. So you can see it. The tobacco is slightly better, right? All right, that's this one. Now let's look at the ones that we haven't gotten yet. Ivory is going to be Africa. That's 16 and 19, but let's go into Area 4. That's Silk, 16 and 19. Let's find one that's only Area 4. That's actually a cheap one. That does not prove my point. Chinaware, 16 and 19. So I guess maybe I don't have a point. 16 and 19 seems to be where it caps out. So we actually could just stay in North America and make some good money. It's not like... See, the thing is we can go to the East Indies, but then we need to have a merchant. I already have a merchant in the English Channel. I already have a merchant here. I don't have any more merchants to send out. So as much as exploring these other areas seems cool, at the same time, it's stretching me out. So actually, I am going to do... I want to do an explore action. So I'm going to play Naval Traditions. So I am going to put this card here. It still costs me that 1... It's going to cost me 1 ducat. And... Or I'm sorry, 2 ducats. And 1 cube. Now, I know that was very long-winded, but basically the idea is now I can do explore actions without having to spend my military cubes. Jeff, what are you going to use your military cubes for? Well, right now, nothing. But if I ever go to war, I need them. And I might use the military cube, for example, to get rid of this pirate. I can use it to do a recruit action. There's a lot of things I can use it for. All right. So with that being said, I am done. I'm just going to move this off. These things are meant to be used for your development cards. It's really nice. Okay, Austria. They have unrest. And this guy will do the magic teleport thing and ignore the mountains and all that jazz. So they're going to do a defend, and then they're also going to spend 2 cubes to recruit. Done. And then they got to do a battle. Alright, 1 gets killed. Poland is actually quite stable. They're going to do a military. Now this gets interesting. First we got to check their claims. They have 1 here for claim 1. So let's do that. They did not roll claim 1. But remember, these markers appeared. So Poland is going to try to go after one of these markers. And the one that's next to them is here. So they're declaring war on Hungary, who they have a royal marriage with. That's interesting. But that is what they're going to do. They're declaring war on Hungary. So boom. Just like that, The fires of war are raging. They spend 1 cube to recruit. And just making sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They only have 6 manpower? What? Oh no, I'm sorry. They have 10 plus 6. They have 16 manpower now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Look at that. Their army just went through the roof because of Lithuania. Now they only get to recruit 9. So 3 of them are staying here. That's insanity, isn't it? And then they're going to go ahead and march right into this area. They will fight a rebel here who is going to join forces with 1, 2, 3 armies, right? This is a 4th army, 5th army, right? Because everybody adjacent. And then this is a 6th army here because that's a vassal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 armies going up against Poland. One, two, three, 4 hits. With their new Lithuanian allies, they got plenty of army. Okay, back to Moscow. Unrest. They do have one. They have one here as well. So they will spend a cube and a card. Denmark. Unrest. Or spy. I think they have unrest. Yep, they got one right there. Okay, they're done. The Mamluks. They're going to spy. They don't care about Papalcuria. That's 2 cards. One of these. Who are they going to spy on? They're not at war with anybody. A 1 to a 3 is who has the most income. This is who's winning the game. That is Spain. So they're going to spy on Spain. They're going to pick their highest tax area, which I think is this one. I would agree. And they're going to hit the 2 hardest cities, because that's what they want to do. Actually, a spy, if they already have 3, they roll dice. I apologize. Spain's going to roll 5. Lose a cube and 2 rebellions. That is definitely... Now the rebellions, Spain gets to choose, so they would choose their lowest tax area, which I'm thinking is this one at 3. This one's also at 3. So then, but this one begins with an A because it's Algiers, and that's a T. So they would normally want to pick this because this is where their army is, but they're going to choose these ones, and this is what's going to happen. The K and the M, they get liberated. Those aren't cores. So Spain just lost 2 towns because of that spy action. So well done, Mamluks. They're tough. They're not fun to... They kill their own generals and all that jazz, but they're tough. All right, let's go Venice. Diplomacy. Now this is an interesting one because I think they're absorbing these guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they need 8 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great, but they have to also overcome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cubes because we have competing cubes against them. So they want to annex these guys, and they can't. So first thing they're going to do is add 2 more cubes for sure, and it needs to be on one of their areas. They can add 1 to here, so they're at 5. But here, you can see they can't add cubes. However, there is a caveat in the rules for this. So when they're doing the diplomacy action, are there any free spaces? There was 1. So we're going to add 2. But later on, they get to replace 2. You see that? Now, when they do the replace, that's it. But in this case, we added our 1. The alliance is already there, but now we're going to check for a royal marriage. And if it's a 3 to 6, they will get a marriage. So let's go ahead and roll for that. Okay, this means add 2 more cubes, but there isn't a place to add 2 more cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even know why this cube's sitting in the middle of the ocean. Oh, that's right, because that's the one I was trying to figure out where to place. So there's nothing left to do for Naples. Naples is the target here. So, and in fact, there's too many cubes here. So there's an extra white cube here. So I think I need to bump them out too. It was me who last added a cube. Alright, so next time they do diplomacy, they're going to be able to replace somebody else's 2 cubes with their own. And the more they do that, they already have enough cubes to annex them if these other cubes weren't there. So they have, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 1 more cube than necessary. So let's say that cancels out this one. Well, if they remove these 2, right, and replace it with 2 of their own, that also cancels out 2 more. So they only have 1 more they need to cancel out whenever that happens. But it is going to be a few more diplomacy actions, but annexing this for Venice will put them back in the game. That was a good card. It's just all the other cubes, including my own, which I didn't even care to put there, is causing a problem for them. Alright, so the Ottomans now actually have peace, but watch this war card come up. Nope, they got to convert. They can't convert anything, unfortunately. They do not completely control any province. So instead they're going to focus on politics. Okay, now we go to France. They recovered here. They can finally do something. And of course they're going to do a military. And they have claims everywhere. So let's just roll and see what they're going to get. They rolled a 2, and I think that's going to be me. Nope, claim 1's here. Claim 2. This is claim 6, claim 3, claim 4. Oh my gosh, claim 2 used to be here, but it's gone. Because they took it. So, claim 2 is a nothing burger. So now they're going to go... We're going to just go ahead and roll this. You can see they rolled a 4. On the military, but 4 is Brittany and Normandy, but they already have Brittany and Normandy. So let's come over and roll again. A 5 from here is the owner of Bourgogne, which is Burgundy. So they are going to declare war on Burgundy. And that is a viable target, definitely viable. They already have a claim there, in fact. So the owner of Bourgogne is here. Sorry. Okay, so they will spend a cube. They're going to recruit 9. That's 5. Here's 3 more. And they'll march their army right on in. They're going to fight 2 here, plus 1 here. That's 3. But then here's 2 more for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be the break I'm looking for. Except they did no hits, so this army's at full strength. That is ridiculous. It still might be the thing I'm looking for. It's going to cost them 3 cubes to annex this. And if I declare war on them before they go down to 5 or less cubes, they don't get any bonus cubes. So they could spend their 3 cubes and be down to 5. The problem is that they're basically going to be able to immediately defend anything. It's not quite as good as Austria or somebody like that declaring war on them. Alright, now we go to Castile. They are doing a military. Now this is getting interesting. Do they have claims? Yes, they do. They have claim 4, claim 1. Alright. They even have claim 2. Alright, they roll a 6. Oh. Alright, so we're going to do a 2 against their military chart. A 2 is Navarra. That's an interesting one. And they can definitely do that one. So what they are doing is they're dropping a claim in Aragon. They're going to spend a cube to recruit. And they're going to march their army through the ships and into here. And they're attacking the single province of Navarra. I know. It's not even worth the trouble, but that's what they're doing. And nothing. Now it's to us. So we did our thing. So now we're going to do a naval tradition, explore. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of these ships and I'm going to put it in North America here. So I have both of these spots. And we're going to explore up here for a blue die. And we rolled a 1, which I think is good. Yes, it is. And I can take any of these 2 1s here. So I'll take New England. And there we go. We got our 1, 2, 3 colonies in place. All right, yeah, they're not necessarily colonies. They're interests, or I guess you could call it claims. So there's probably some fledgling colony there, and I need to send more colonists to turn them into towns. So seems like a wasted action, but that was really good because now that opens the door for me to do these harbor refugee cards. Alright, I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay, so we move to Austria here. And they need to siege. And they're done. Next, Poland, who is at war, is going to siege. This is going to get a little crazy here, but we're going to move that over. They're going to siege down these 3, as if Poland needed to put 3 more towns out. They're literally running out of towns. Somebody's got to do something about Poland. All of a sudden, they went from nothing to something. They've already used 20 towns, and they're 13 into the next set. Moscow. Convert or focus. I don't think there's anything to convert for them. Because, yeah, well, no, this is Muslim. See that? So, now it's interesting because this controls both provinces. So I think you need to own this area and this area to be able to convert this. So I'm going to say no, they can't convert. Although that's a weird one. I don't know how well the rules address that. So focus eco. But it's actually going to be expansion instead, which means they're going to get 2 cubes. And we got to grab one of these. I think they already have one over here. And the expansion one is this one. So you can see they're going to get 2 cubes. Provinces on 2 or more distant continents. That would have been the reason to go to Africa. My apologies there. I totally forgot about that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They are scoring a lot of points, Moscow is. Okay, Denmark. Here we go. They got a military. So who is going to be their target, though? They are not next to one of these, so they're not necessarily going to be as aggressive. They do have some claims out. They have claim 1 and claim 2. So let's roll. They don't roll either, so let's roll again. They rolled a 3. So we got to pull up the Kalmar. A 3 for them is Göttingen and Skane. They already have that resolved. A 3 again is Prussia. So they're going to go after Prussia again. So this is going to cause war with Austria, because they're going to defend. They're going to defend again. So war is once again. Oh, I'm sorry. I said Prussia. That's these guys. They already have Prussia. Gotta learn my geography a little bit better here. Now it's a 1. There we go. Brandenburg. So it's like I was able to figure it out anyways. Alright. Fair enough. Let me take a sip of that drink I just grabbed. They are at war, which means they will spend a cube and they will recruit 9. They have so much army that they don't even know what to do with. They will answer the call to arms. Austria. So they also spend a cube and recruit, and yeah, they'll be able marching there shortly. Okay, so these guys, they do declare war and they will march in. So it's 1, 2, 3 here. So just going to be 3 dice. Pretty easy thing for these bots to deal with. Although 3 hits was pretty heavy. But Denmark is definitely going to be sieging pretty soon. We got the Ottomans here, who are going to explore. What a weird one for them to have. But it is going to work, because it's based on... See, because they have these angles here. And so they are currently in Africa and in Hejaz. So they can explore these other areas. So let's figure out how that works for them. Do they have 3 colonial claims? No, absolutely not. Vacant territory with a 1 adjacent to their town. Now that's the part that I think the answer is no. Because, see, the territory next to them is taken. So there's no 1 next to them. No 1 next to them. Or a no 1 next to them. Alright, can they place a ship? The answer is no. Could placing a ship bring a bot closer to a the explorable zone? No. Any colonial claim is connected to capital area through a chain of areas with the bot's towns. The answer is yes. No, they don't have a claim, though. Otherwise, it would have been yes. So could placing a ship bring bot closer? No. So they're going to score points equal to 2 plus colonists. They don't have any claims. What they want to do is something like this, where they place a claim. So there's no... They keep wanting to put a ship down. They keep asking if placing a ship would get them closer. I mean, I guess you could argue, for argument's sakes. See, they're here, and see, look, there's a port. So they could place a ship here. And would that get them closer to being able to expand something? They have a port here. That's part of the Indian Ocean, which is this. So let's go back and reanalyze this, because they could place a ship. It's just... Can place a ship in a sea zone where it can explore? The answer is no, because the Indian Ocean does not have explorable places. Let's look at this one more time. So there's nothing to explore here. It's all already taken. So not quite yes to that. So we're going to answer no. Could placing a ship bring it back closer to a new explorable zone? The answer is yes. So they're going to place a ship in a sea zone that qualifies. Does it trigger a naval battle? No. And then they're going to end. So we're going to do that. We're going to take one of their ships and we're going to place it in the Indian Sea Zone. Because that actually is going to allow them to potentially go either here, which would explore the East Indies, or they could go here, which would let them explore the African coast. They really can do that with their explore actions. So I think that makes sense. I think we handled that quite well. Took a while, but I think we figured it out. Okay, Venice, they need more diplomacy actions. Papal Curia is not helping me. I want to hold on to Papal Curia. So they are going to place their cube, but they don't actually destroy any cubes. They're just placing theirs. And that doesn't hurt me, because I still have majority, and everybody else is a nothing burger. So, alright, I'm okay with that. Next, we go to the Ottomans, who are currently enjoying peace, which is really odd for them. Alright, so they're going to do unrest for 2 cubes. And I believe they still have unrest to deal with. Yes, they got 1 there. And believe it or not, they have a stable empire all of a sudden. Now we go to France, who is technically at war. So they're going to spend 3 cubes. And they're going to get to place a large town and a small one. So France is also getting quite powerful. Next we have Castile. They're not at war with any... Well, they were at war. Who did they go to war with? Oh, Navarra. So that's just a single cube. And then it's to us. Yay! Okay, we're going to implement our plan. We're going to do harbor refugees, which is going to cost us the 1 cube plus the 2 ducats. And that's going to let us put 4 refugees out. Or 4 colonists. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. That's going to be a town for us. Next, we go Austria. They need to draw a military card. They are at war, so they did draw a military card. 1, 2, 3. And this is where it gets interesting, because there's the enemy, so 1 and 2 over. They're going to initiate a battle, so once again, they are defending Brandenburg quite well. I'm just always impressed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3 hits on them, and no hits in return. Denmark is getting a good thumping. And to be honest, they need it. I don't want them growing anymore. They need a thumping. The Mamluks could use a thumping. Poland for sure needs a thumping. And then France needs a thumping. I'm hoping that I'm the one that can thump them, but I need help. I need France to be at war with somebody else so I can sneak in and be a little more dastardly. Alright, we're going to attack again. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits on them. 1, 2, 3 hits back. So 1, 2, 3 hits back. 4 hits on them. They are almost done. But they have a lot of cubes, folks. Lots of cubes. Alright. 3 hits on them. 1 hit back. Okay, Denmark is done. The good news here is that Austria has defended the area, and Denmark needs a military card, or they're going to not do anything with it. Because that's the thing, they don't aggressively move unless they draw the military action. Every other action, the defend, all those other things, is just defending their territory. Okay, the Mamluks are going to actually start trying to pass. So they're going to draw an event. That is an opponent's event. And we've always said that they would pick the leftmost one. Unless they're at war with somebody, which they aren't. So they're going to grab claims in Italy. And these guys are all moving over with money on them. And the Reformation spreads. This is going to put the Protestant tokens on the board. So every other time I've played, this card has always come first before the other ones. But anyways. They're doing B. France is going to lose 2 points. Always good to see that. And a claim in each of Lombardy, Central Italy, Naples, and Sicily, if they have no towns in that area. So basically, they lose all their claims in these areas. So they lose their Lombardy claim. This one looks like they never really had a claim because it was this claim here that made them take this territory. Alright, that's it. That wasn't very exciting. They did lose 2 points, I guess. Venice. Venice the Menace is going to do the same thing. So they're going to roll a 6, which means they're going to do their own, which is out here. So they're going to take this one. That gives them a cube. More money comes out. This one is actually a decent one for us. It's starting to get some money. I can cause ships to die as long as there's ports not there. This one is an excellent one. Revolts in the Low Countries. I love this one. But obviously we got some sicknesses coming, and that's going to kill Da Vinci. I'm pretty sure. So I am losing Da Vinci here. But let's get back to this. They chose their own, so they're going to get a cube for money being on it. Oppose the Pope. The papal controller may excommunicate Venice for free. If they do, all Catholic PRs adjacent to Venice either gain a claim in Venetia or an alliance with any NPR in Lombardy or Central. Venice is going to gain 2. Okay, what does excommunicate do for us? I don't even read this stuff. It is an action I have available. I could do it for free. Place an excommunicate token. If the PR loses, if a player realm, target loses 1 point and 1 from the Papal Curia track. They must discard 4 from Catholic areas. The Roma cardinal cannot be removed. As long as excommunicated is in play, all Catholic realms have... You know what? I'll do it, because that's going to get rid of their cube. I mean, I have compassion for Venice, because I need them to fight back, but I don't have that much compassion for Venice. Alright, so they're excommunicated. We will put that on their butt somewhere. I'll put it right here on their state religion. So they are excommunicated. So basically it means everybody has a casus belli against them. And then everybody can either get a claim in this area, which Austria, and then when I say area, everybody adjacent to them. So Austria is going to definitely get a claim. France can get a claim. And remember that the bots always choose the first option, which is get the claim. So both of these guys have claims in that area, or they could have allied here, but nobody else is adjacent. You could argue that via boat, the Mamluks are adjacent, and Castile is also adjacent. It was adjacent to Venetia, though, right? To Venice. Not capitalized. So that could be even these guys down here. They gain a claim in Venetia or an alliance with an NPR in Lombardy or Central Italy. So technically Spain has one. I'm just going to put it there. And then the Ottomans already have one down here, but I guess they get another one. And even the Mamluks get one. It's getting a little congested here. I'm going to put this on. So all these claims in the Adriatic Sea are for Venice. And again, it's because, Venice is here and they're adjacent via ports. Ports allow adjacency. So the only one not adjacent is Poland, although they're close. And then, of course, Denmark, Moscow, and myself. Okay, I think I have that handled. They did gain a bunch of cubes out of the deal. That's a decent ruler. Okay, now we move to the Ottomans. And I need to pause. Sorry, I had to take a break. Somebody was at my door. So I believe we just did the unrest action for the Ottomans, so we move over to France, who is technically at war. There is actually still provinces they can take in many places. In fact, all of these are provinces that belong to Burgundy. So we will draw, and they really can't do a spy action. Well, they can, but it's not going to be against the person they're at war with. But we'll go ahead and do the spy action. So that does cost them 2 cubes. The unrest actually would have helped them a lot. In fact, it always confuses me, but this is what they're supposed to do when they're at war, and I think I'm more or less determined that the only one I'm going to ignore is the military command, because it makes no sense. This one they can feasibly do. I don't know why it keeps adding one more, but let's, if I right click on it, does it reset? No, it does not. Alright, so, anyways, they rolled a 6, which is, highest score. Highest score is Spain, so they're going to make Spain roll again 5 dice. Look at that. What kind of luck is that? They do lose a cube, and they get to restore one, which will be here. And now it is Spain's turn, and you can see they are almost out of cubes. They did do a military action. Who did they declare war on? Oh, that's right, it was them. They are more than done. So now they're going to do a spy action. So they will spend 2. Card gets discarded. And the highest score is France. And they're going to cause France to roll 5 dice. This is fun. France is going to lose a cube, gain a revolution, and flip one back. Okay, so the revolution is for sure going to be here because that's the lowest tax. I think flip one back. This is 4 value. This is 2, 3, 4, 5 value. So they're actually going to flip this one back. But they do gain a revolution, and this is actually a really good time to declare war on them. I would cause them to gain cubes back up to 5, but if I don't enter their territory, they'll spend a cube to move down here, and they're also going to spend cubes. Well, they didn't lose any troops. They'll spend a cube to move down. They'll do a battle. They'll get a cube back, but then they'll spend 1 cube. So basically, they'll be down to 4 cubes once they take this back. The problem is that's still enough for them to come and wipe me out. It's not quite the opportunity yet. They got too big of an army. Just way too big. Alright, it is to us. So I am going to go ahead and use the other Harbor Refugees card, because once I start colonizing, I don't have as many colonists to come out. So this card is going to cost me 1 and 2. So 1, 2, and 1 of these cubes, and I get 1, 2, 3. See, I only have 3, but I will take a cube from somewhere else, and right here is that place. So, because I don't need cubes in Ireland anymore, and in fact that cube should have been lost a long time ago. So I got a ton of colonists. I'm going to be able to make some nice towns up here, which will get us some income. This is all looking fantastic, but I just need more turns. This is turn 1, this is turn 2, and people are passing already and stuff like that. Austria is at war, but they're sitting pretty right now. They are going to do a military. Now, the person they are at war with, they're not going to stop. So they're actually going to move either to here or to here, and this is the higher tax. There's 4 taxes here. There's only 2 taxes there. Although this is 2, 3, 4, 5 taxes here. This is even better. They're going to move here because it's within 2. They could move here and then to there. They don't have to move through enemy territory. So they're going to go right to the capital. Oh, this is getting super interesting. Okay, Poland has to... they got a lot of cubes. They are at war. That revolutionary guy is long since dead. They took their stuff, so they're going to draw a card. Now they try to do a diplomacy, which is interesting because they don't have any cubes anywhere. They had one here, but that cube is lost the moment they declared war. So I think we're just going to roll a die and see where the diplomacy is going to go. So I rolled a 3. It's going to be Mazovia and Malopolska, which is already theirs. 5 moves them to the Hungarian plain. They're at war with them right now, so that's not going to work. So let's start back at the beginning. They're going to go to the owner of Silesia, which I believe is Bohemia. Yep. And so they're going to put 2 cubes and try to do an alliance with them, which they will. So they'll do actually 3 cubes, and they get an alliance with Bohemia here. Okay, that cost them 2 cubes. I don't think I spent the 2 cubes yet, because they seem to have a lot of cubes. Because look at this. This is this action. This was the sieging. That was the defend. I guess if they didn't have to recruit, that does work. All right. Now we got Moscow, who has an unrest, but I don't think. Yeah, there's no unrest left, so they're going to do a spy action, and that is going to be against Spain. And Spain once again has 3 unrest on the board. And they're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, easily 5. Rebellion, and lose a cube. Now the rebellion is going to be the lowest tax, which is actually going to be here. And they have a troop there, so they're going to squash that rebellion pretty easily. They don't even lose a troop. And now we move on to here. So they're going to for sure do a defend, and then they're going to spend 2 cubes to recruit. They can only recruit 8. So there's 8 right there. I'm sorry, they recruit 9. And because they're off map, they can't just plop and battle. So they get to place it somewhere adjacent, as close as possible. And that's exactly what they're going to do here. And then we come down to here. You see there's 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are going to try to pass. And I think they do. Yep. So they're going to gain 2 cubes. Then we have Venice. 3, 6, 3, 6. Venice is not at war, even though they have all these people who have claims against them. Let's see what they do. They're excommunicated, though. The naval is an excellent one for us. So let's do a naval for them. They are going to get a ship. They have one here. They have one here. I think the next one goes here because it's between 2. And they're going to displace the higher... Well, this is the higher tax base. That is the higher point score. So let's do it. higher point score is displaced. Not that it matters, because this only affects you or me. These ships don't do anything for when they do trade. But let's do their trade card now. Oh, hold on. They are next to a pirate. 2 pirates, in fact. So they will not be drawing a trade card. They're just going to get rid of pirates. Alright, so that's Venice. Now it's going to get to the Ottomans, who are at even Steven. I thought for sure maybe I forgot to spend their cubes last turn. They're doing a military. That cost them 2 cubes, though. Let's roll. It is a 2. That's claim 7. Claim 2 is right here. Alright, so they're going to spend a cube to recruit, and they will march right in. It's basically Kastamonu that they're at war with. We keep going. France is down to 2. So they will defend, which is a move down. They have to do battle, so they will get a cube back. They lose a unit. They gain a cube back. Then we go to Castile, who's down to 1. They are going to try to pass. They just rolled a 4, which means an opponent. So they're going to take this one, which will give them 1 cube. That's an interesting one. Alright, so they chose the Moscow one. Muscovy loses. This means they're just going to gain an unrest. Novgorod, if owned, is reduced to a small, and they gain 1 cube. So Spain will gain a cube. Muscovy is going to gain an unrest here, and this is going to be reduced from a large to a small. Not very good for them. But that's the way the Novgorod crumbles. It is our turn. We got a million things we can do. So let's do the first one that was on our list. We're going to spend 4 cubes. And we're going to turn one of these into a town. I'm going to do Hudson Bay. So that turns into a town. Oh, my apologies. Okay, so I just had to step away for a bit. More people at my door. So I think I had just made a colony here, which allowed me to put out another town. And then, of course, finishing my turn means that I get to complete this quest, Settle in America. So I'm going to gain a colony, and I can pay 1 to expand the English Channel. And I think I'm going to do exactly that. And then that gives me 3 points. Which, that's the part I definitely need. Because I am lacking in the points department. That does unlock 3F and 3G. So this one being 3G, East India, I have to own or vassalize a whole bunch of stuff in India, which is part of the reason why I need to go that way. And then 3F is colonial ambition. I need to have 4 towns adjacent to any of these sea zones. And here you can see Africa, Indies. So I need to start moving to other areas. So that's the big thing, and that's 5 plus 6. There's 11 points to be had if I leave North America and go other places. But for now, I at least settled North America, and I could put 2 more towns out, which would be nice. Have this here, and I will pay the 1 cube to expand this trade node. And in doing so, like, I don't know if this is a smart choice or not, because if I go into India, I may not need to use this trade node anymore. But right now I got 4 ships here and a merchant. And if we were to take, for example, that one's the English Channel. So see how I would made it $11? I would now make $14. So that's 3 extra bucks for 1 cube. Or I would go from $8 to $10. So it is worth it. If I ever use the channel. I think for at least the rest of this age, I will. But remember, there's age 3, there's age 4. I could potentially continue, and I can, the getting into the East Indies things will come later, and hopefully we can get out that card that lets me grab the 3rd merchant. And before I forget, we get a colonist. So, that's very good. Very happy with our turn so far. We are down to 5 cards, so I don't have any pressure to play more cards. But I do think I want to play Central Authority, which does cost me 2 cubes to get out there. And that'll likely be the last thing I do. It's going to cost 3 cubes to continue to increase stability. But see, look, it says adjust the action cost by the current stability. So it's still going to be expensive. It's going to be 5 cubes to do this up to level 3. But normally it's 8 cubes to get up to level 3. So it's still cheaper. Now, if I ever take this church attendance duty, that'll reduce it by 1. So, but to take the church attendance duty, I have to pay 4 cubes to get it. So yeah, it reduces it by 1, but I gotta use it 4 times before I even break even. So there's a little bit of a trade-off here that I'm not sure is a good action economy. So we go to Austria, who is currently in another area here. And I'm just going to drop this over here. This is 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. Austria did win a battle. Were they the attacker at the time? I think yes they were, because they moved over right before they could siege. So I forgot to give them a cube, and so that does mean they have their 5 cubes, which they're going to spend right now. And oh my gosh, Austria just went nuts on these guys. But they got to somehow hold this. And Denmark has a lot of cubes left, and Austria has none. So so that's the part that's going to make this interesting. Okay. Poland. So that's 6 and 6. They're tied up. They are at war, so they won't stop until they have less than 4 cubes. Since they're at war, they're going to do a spy action. They're at war with an NPR, so again, the spy action is going to be against somebody else. This is the highest tax. I don't know who that would be, but it's definitely not going to be me. I mean, I'm at 22, which is great, but these guys are at 18 plus 5, that's 23. These guys, they can't spy on themselves, but they're 20, 33, 35, 21, 23 plus 4, 27. They might be the winners. These guys are at 7 and 6, 23. It's definitely not the Ottomans. The French, 16 and 14, 30. It is the French. I don't think it's going to be Spain here. They're close. They're 25, but it's the French. Oh, oui, oui. So the French are going to roll 5 dice and get more. What I want to know is, how did France have a rebellion token here when they have an army? Did I miss that? Or no, their next turn they're going to be sieging. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. My goodness. 1, 2. This is actually a higher tax. 3. Wow. What a roll. Okay, that was Poland's turn. Now we go to Muscovy. 5 to 7. They're doing an event. I'm okay with just letting the money pile up on these events. So this one is they're going to take their own event, which they can't, so they're going to take the leftmost one. So I'm just going to move the money over. So they're doing privateers, which is actually one I sort of wanted to do, but not enough to stop doing actions. Okay, so this is Moscow. So they're going to do A. They always do A. This thing here is going to kill any ship that doesn't have a port supporting it. And I think it's one, or is it all? One. Belonging to each opponent. Each player chooses from themselves, not adjacent to a port. And so everybody but Moscow. Moscow doesn't have any ships. So if we start with the Ottomans here, right? They got a ship here, and that's all they have. Now, next we move to the Mamluks. For example, this ship is not supported by a port for the Mamluks. But neither, well, that one is. So Mamluks are going to lose. Oh, that's Venice. I'm sorry. Mamluks are fine. Venice is fine because this is part of the Aegean Sea. And the Eastern Mediterranean, you could argue that that's part of the Eastern Mediterranean. See how the port sticks out? But they don't have that town anymore. So they're actually going to lose the Eastern Mediterranean, but they would also lose the Central, because they don't have any ports over here either. So they're going to lose that one. Spain, for example, is going to lose this one. France should lose this one at minimum, or this one. So we're going to choose C. I think I'm good. I got ports on all of mine, including here. So we're good. And then the Dutch, or Denmark, are good too. It's the orange. The orange keeps making me think Dutch. My apologies. So that, I think, counts for everybody. Austria doesn't have any ships anymore, and neither does Poland. Okay, so that's this piece, which technically we do later. Pay 1 to draw 3 trade cards and select a maritime trade node on one of those. Activate an opponent's merchant in this node and place a pirate there to collect the income from the top of the left of the card. So for them, I'm just going to draw 1. And they have the North Sea, Maghreb or Sevilla, or Aleppo, Alexandria. North Sea has Denmark. So basically what that means is a pirate is coming out. They'll be up in the North Sea trade node, which I don't particularly care about. And they're going to collect the top left, which is 7 ducats. And that's basically, it's 1 cube for Moscow. But they have to pay a cube to do it. So they get a net of nothing. And they're going to like it. They do get a cube, though, because there was money on it. So let's do that. And they're done. Now, Denmark, remember I told you they have a lot of cubes left. And they have a pretty substantial army. So they are going to spend 1 cube. And then the decision on whether they recruit is going to be, I think it's based on whether they have double the strength. So right now, Austria has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7 units. So let's make sure that we have this understood. So army with invaders, yes, there's no sieges to happen. Do they have double? The answer is no. So they will spend 2 cubes to get those final. And this is important because it's going to cause Denmark to lose a lot of cubes just to get 3 guys. Alright, Now, they did have to place their army, as you can see. And I did spend the 1 cube, I think, for the defend action. They had to do that last turn, but now they're coming in. And, of course, they got to siege all this back. But they got to win the battle first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll. There we go. They just did 4 hits, but they did 3 back. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are hit. But they also lost 3. And Denmark's not a pushover anymore, so they're very likely going to win this. Denmark just did 2 hits, and they did 2 hits. So Austria, they are hitting back, but they're not doing anything that's indicating they're going to win this battle. So 2 hits on Denmark does reduce them, but they are sitting strong, and Austria is whittling away. 1, 2, 3 more hits on Austria, 3 hits back, but they only have 2 units, so only 2 units get hit back. They wore them down, but it wasn't enough. And before I move away, they're going to gain a cube for winning that war, or the battle. So Austria is now army off the board. They have no cubes left. When they do their event, they might get some cubes back, but for now they're done. And so Denmark is going to be able to siege back some of this. And what's interesting is all they're going to do is get back their own turf. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to spend 5 cubes. They will get it all back, but Austria once again defended the HRE, which is just so impressive that they were able to do that. Okay, Mamluks. They have 1 extra cube, so they will do an action. And it's going to be event. Oh, I apologize. They passed. No wonder they have 1 extra cube. Venice. They're not at war. They're going to try to pass. And they will, for 2 cubes. For 2 cubes of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Alright, we're going to go to the Ottomans, who are also going to pass. But they're going to grab an event first. They rolled a 5, which means they're going to try to do their own event. And if they can't, they grab the leftmost one. So the Reformation is happening. A lot of stuff involved in this one. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on with all of these, but alright, so things at the bottom, I'm going to do the pluses right now. Pluses get sick. So for us, we have a square, a triangle, triangle, no pluses, but see the triangles are going to kill both of our advisors. We're going to lose both of them this round. And that triangle's coming. Right there it is. Okay, so no plus for us. Place Protestant tokens in 2 Catholic areas in HRE that are not adjacent to C zones, marked with a cross, and that contain no provinces owned by the Emperor. Switzerland and Saxony must be chosen if eligible. So it is going to be Switzerland and Saxony, I'm pretty sure of it. Switzerland has no provinces owned by the Emperor, and Saxony also has no provinces owned by the Emperor. So there we go, we got 2. Pick English, French, Scottish, or Danish areas instead. All HRE areas with diverse faiths turn Protestant. So that means, for example, this area here with diverse faiths is turning Protestant. So this is turning Protestant. And the really interesting part is Austria never cleaned this up, so that's turning Protestant as well. And then, now here's the real question. This is HRE, so this province is HRE, but these three provinces are not. So, is this area considered HRE? You could argue yes, it is, because it's at least part of it's HRE. It has diverse faiths, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to call it Protestant and clone it and put it in. And as far as like the impact on Poland, it's no different. Whether it was diverse faiths or Protestant, it's still mixed for them. And then I'm just carefully looking to see if there's mixed religion anywhere else. I don't think there is. So I think that covers it. And so we're going to go put this here. Okay. This is done. But now we got to roll rebel dice and Protestant spreads. I'm going to spread the Protestant first just because it's on my mind. It should not impact the rebel dice at all because we're not turning or flipping anything at the moment. And the way it works is you're going to do it by clusters. So this is one Protestant cluster, that's another, and it's going to spread. The player who does this gets to choose. But when you're the bot, it's always, well, you're choosing the region. And like me personally, when I'm playing a game, I never, if I put a Protestant here, then it becomes one big blob, and then it only spreads one province at a time. I always keep it as two blobs because I want to just create havoc on the other players who are still Catholic. But we could choose, okay, which blob do we want to do first? So let's say we do this blob here. They're going to choose the realm that is just alphabetically ordered next. So like, for example, Croatia, but Brandenburg's a B. So that looks like the realm that would get chosen. So we're going to take that war and move it, and then clone this and put it there. So Brandenburg now has Protestantism. Then if we go over here to Switzerland, where are they going to go? Well, this begins with a B. This is Bavaria, and that's also Burgundy, but BA is earlier. So the moment I do that, now we got a cluster. It's all connected as one cluster. So it's not going to spread twice anymore. It'll only spread one at a time. But yeah, all these areas are turning Protestant. And remember, I had an event that could have caused that to happen to me, and so did Denmark. But everybody chose option B, which caused it to not happen. So now we do the rebel dice, and this is the interesting part. So the Mamluks are very solid. They have one here, and just remembering to check, they just have one. Mamluks lose a cube. We're going to do Venice next. They have one. Just one. They lose a cube. Denmark. These don't count. These are Austrian unrest. Which is interesting because the Denmark army is going to have to deal with them. But I think Denmark is fine at the moment. Muscovy also fine. Nope, Muscovy has one. Nothing. Then we get to Poland, who amazing. Oh, 1, 2, 3. They have 4 unrest. They're going to lose a cube and flip one. Let's see, this is higher tax, so I'm going to flip one of these, that one. Austria is going to roll 5. They got 2 here, 3, and then 2 over here for 5. I don't know what this is. It says manpower. According to the thing, the thing that popped up here. So I'll go ahead and do that. They're going to lose a cube and have 2 rebellions. They don't have any cubes. But the rebellions are interesting. For sure, one there. But the other rebellion, this is a 4 tax. This is also a 4 tax. This begins with an A, so does that. But this is AY, this is AU. So the other rebellion is actually going to be here, which saves them by the skin of their chinny chin chin there. And it would go in the lower tax one. Okay, that was Austria. I don't have any unrest anywhere, finally, so I'm good. Castile has 1,000,000, so let's do 5 dice for them. 2 rebellions and a flippity and a lost cube. So we'll do the flippity first. It would be this area. And then, let's see, that's 4. That's also 4. That's a C. This is an N. So actually that one would have flipped. Then 2 rebellions now. One of them for sure is here, which is just going to be a battle for them. So they quashed one of them, but the other one is going to happen here, because that's the next lowest tax. So that gets liberated. Oh, nope, that's a core. Look at that. See that? That's core. So not so easy there, fella. They just have a rebellion. This is not a core, and that's the difference. All right, and then five for here. Okay, France is next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this still counts as a 5th. So that's 5. Two rebellions and a flip. So the flip would actually be here. And then the 2 rebellions, one of them would be here, which would cause a battle. That gets squashed. And then the other one would actually just be a rebellion up here. So France has a lot of work to do. See, now this is where it's getting good. Like, if I knew I had a lot of turns left, I could probably get down here and take Brittany and Normandy away from them, because they're busy dealing with their rebellions. However, they would still go after me, because I'm the larger army than the rebellions. So I still have to be careful, and I would cause them to go back up to 5 cubes. And they do have an army way bigger than mine, so I as much as I'm trying to be opportunistic, I still don't think it's the right move. Okay, and then excuse me, hiccups. Ottomans are actually fine. And when I took the Ottomans' turn last time, I think I had them take an event. Whose turn was this? This was the Ottomans' turn, wasn't it? I forgot. Whose turn is this? I think this was the Ottomans' turn. They weren't supposed to do any of this. And here's why I know this. They need a siege. Okay, so this event technically didn't happen yet. They have to siege Kastamonu, which, because this was their turn, right? We had Denmark go, and they won the battle. Then we had the Mamluks go, who had already passed, and then Venice passed. Yes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to retcon everything that we just did, because that would be horrible. But they technically did not do an event yet. And so whoever does the next event, they're going to just cause this retcon that just happened to take place. They need to spend a cube because they're taking Kastamonu. So they would have this. And they would actually have 1 unrest, so I am going to roll for that. and they don't have any more cubes to lose. So France's turn, they have just one cube left, and none of this other stuff changes anything. They still would have removed this one, and they would have been fine. Then we go to Castile, who does have a rebellion that would not have been in place at the time. Okay, so we have to pretend like that event hasn't happened yet. So with the one cube, they would have passed. So they have a second cube. Then it gets to us. We're not doing an event because we're trying to squeeze in as many actions as we can. And I think I want to get the Central Authority card out so I can start increasing stability here. So that's exactly what I would do. I would play this card, which is going to cost me 2 more ducats and 2 of these cubes. So now we got our growth cards out here, and we're good to go. And now Austria would be the one that would have done this event, because there we go. So now we're caught up. Everything's caught up because Austria's out of cubes, so they would have tried to pass. Okay, now we go to Poland. They are at war, but they're less than cubes, so they're going to try to pass. And so they're going to do an event now. They rolled a 6, which means they're going to do their own, and they have their own here, which is interesting for them. And we get some more money out here. Okay, so they're going to do Inherit Mazovia, which doesn't help them worth a darn because bots don't have vassals. So, but this does help them. Any Polish small on Warsaw develops into a large, and if there's a vassal here, it becomes a small. And then they're going to gain 1 cube. So they get a cube, and then the Warsaw thing, remember this is a vassal at the start of the game, and all it's saying is that their small develops into a large. So that helps them. Not a lot, but it does help them. And I already put the money on. So let's pay attention. We got a lot of money on this one. This is just an awesome one. It's straight up text. Doesn't matter who selects it. Basically, the Netherlands are going to revolt from Burgundy. And then, of course, it's going to kill our advisors. But all this other stuff happens as well. The Portuguese one is great for Portugal, but it's not for me. It's always hard because you get to pick which 3 these go on. So if anything, maybe I would pick it so I can pick 3 that doesn't matter to me. Putting a pirate on 2 places isn't helpful to me. And then this one here, there's no towns adjacent to any of these places, so it's really an uneventful card other than Portugal's going to have presence in the overseas area. You would take it for the 6 ducats. The Shadow Kingdom, these 2 leave the HRE, which cause the HRE Emperor to lose 2 levels. So he's going to go down 2 notches. The Emperor can gain 2 and place vassals on Milan. But the Emperor has no cubes. Or I'm sorry, may place vassals on Milan. You gain 2, but you must add 3 and 3 to Lombardy. This is going to be interesting for choosing A. The problem is only I would choose A. This would be really bad because Lombardy is this, and this is Milan. So basically, Austria would vassalize these 3, which means they would take control. They would gain all those towns. Hey, I don't know if I would choose that. And then there would be all these rebels, which means they would siege it. And since Austria has no cubes left, they're going to just go independent again. Or let them go, and then he's going to lose 2 imperial authority. So actually, that's where he loses the 2 authority, if he lets them go. If he chooses this, then they leave the HRE, but he doesn't lose the authority. Okay, that's how that works. I'm okay with anybody choosing this one. And then, of course, this is a Spain one. We'll let that worry. Maybe there's 1 more card left. So that might be pretty good. Okay, so that was... Who was that? That was Poland, right? Yes, that was Poland. So now we're on to Muscovy, who will very likely pass. I'm going to assume they're passing, and then we'll go over and check. Oh no, oh no, they got a lot of cubes all of a sudden. They drew an event because of their event card. Poland's still in it to win it, so let's go here. They're going to grab an idea, which that'll likely make it so they're going to pass soon. And they roll 2 dice. 5 and 3. So a 5 means over here, and then 1, 2, 3. They're going to take the Janissaries. I would normally be upset by this, but it doesn't hurt that they beat you to it. By them taking it, they're going to finally lock it down so it doesn't get replaced later. Because there's certain ones that I want to see there. And this is one of them. So by them taking it, that locks it down so we could take it someday. And it gives them 2 points. Alright, so we are now on to... And I just put Poland there, didn't I? I did. They're not the ones that gained the 2 points. Moscow is. And they're way down here. So let's take this off. It was Moscow who got that. Okay. Next up is Denmark, who will spend 5 cubes to siege everything back. So this... Whoops. Going the wrong way. So Austria loses all their ambition. During the peace process, they would have had to give back the capital anyways. But the cool thing about that is they would have gained 4 cubes for doing so. It's pretty impressive for them. But I think the part I like is how they're beating each other down and they're both going to lose a point because they'll have to wipe peace. Alright, so that's them. And now we're on to these two, which I think have both passed. Yes, they have. So we got to do the Ottomans, who are passing. And now they're going to draw an event for real. So I'm going to leave this zoomed in here because it's their turn. I got to pause. I'm going to be stepping away for a few minutes. Okay, I am back. It's been like an hour, so I probably should have just uploaded the video. But it is the Ottomans' turn. They're completely out of cubes. And they need to do an event. So the round is close to coming to an end. They will choose their own if they can. They can't, so they are choosing this one, which it didn't matter who chose this one. It's just an awesome one, unless you're France. Although in this case, I don't think France is hurt too bad. Take a free trade action. In this trade mode, ooh, that's awful. Okay, so let's do this first. We have to put diverse faith in Netherlands and Flanders. And then we have to add unrest to all towns in Dutch core provinces, unless the owner's capital is located in one of those areas. And then 3 unrest if there's at least 1 unrest there. Okay, so this is the part that's weird because it's an NPR. So you can see the Dutch behind here. So these are all Dutch towns. Nobody is controlling them at the moment. I mean, they're controlled by Burgundy because they're vassalized. And then this country, Gelre and Friesland, has these two. But this isn't the one I was thinking of. There's one where they turn into these tokens, where they become a DNPR. This is not the one. So I think that happens later. But they do get a diverse faith, and if there were any towns... Oh, there is a vassal. But the vassal doesn't belong to us. So actually nothing happens with this. So the Ottomans are going to get a cube. Very interesting. A diverse faith token comes out. And technically they don't get a cube because there was something that happened. That comes out. Right there, and actually Have to put another one there. Okay, so then we come back and we got to do the bottom piece. So this will do that. That's going to be trouble. And then the triangle happens, and that's where I'm going to lose my advisors. Both of my triangle advisors die, and it is with great sadness that I lose my +3 diplomacy and my super insane +4 Da Vinci. But they served me well. I do have a +3 waiting here and at least a +1, so it's something, and I probably will get both of those out. Now that but I want to make sure, like, all the cards are out now, and we know that the triangles are going to get sick again. So there was no surviving my triangle guys here. So if I look at these two, that's a plus, and that's a plus. So I can get them out at any time without having to worry about the triangle problem. Alright, but let's quit worrying about me here. What they're saying is this card is going to happen. And so the next power struggle will be this one. We'll worry about that later, but this is going to score this round. And they're also saying that Protestant spreads, or any of these religions really. So it's one big blob now. So it's only going to spread once. And again, the only thing we have is alphabetical as our guide. So Burgundy would be next in the alphabet. So we're going to say that it spreads to there. Yeah, because this is a V, that's a T. This one already has it, both of these. Royal Hungary, this is a C, but not as good as a B. So I think that's the right place. I mean, you can spend all day looking, I guess. I'm not that big, that particular. Then we're going to do revolt dice, which that's the only thing that's left. So Mamluks have 1. And their 1 gets better. Venice has 1. Just 1. They're going to lose a cube. Denmark has 1. They lose a cube, and then Moscow has 1. They lose a cube. Poland, 1, 2, 3. We'll do this again. They're going to lose a cube. I saw that revolt there, but I didn't roll enough dice. Austria is at easily at 5. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. They lose a cube. They don't have any. And then France has 1, 2, 3. They lose a cube and 1 gets better. The one that gets better will be that one, but there's actually a 4th one for France, so let's roll 1 more. Nothing. And then Castile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One gets better, lose a cube, and revolt. So the next revolt, it would absolutely occur here, and then one of these would get better. So that's just a battle. Nothing happens. And we are still sitting like a rose, which is a good feeling, because this was definitely a problem for us for a while. So these revolt cards are not hurting us at all at the moment. So that was the Ottomans. Now we go to the French, who are out of cubes. They have stuff to do, but they're out of cubes. So they're going to try to pass, and they will also take an event. And yeah, I'm sitting back and just waiting for the money to accumulate. They rolled a 6, which means they are going to take the most money one. But you can see the money is transferring over. And they do get this for money. And you know what? I don't even need to move these anymore. So we could just leave it as is. So France does get a cube for this. Place green on 3 of these. And we don't really have... I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do alphabetical. So A, B, and Goa. Which, historically, that's the one you always think of as Goa. So Angola, Bahia, and Goa are going to get green of these. So I'm just going to drop it here real quick. Goa is there, so that's Portugal. Angola should be here, so they took one of those. And then Bahia, I don't remember where that is. That's Benin. I want to say it's here. I don't see it there. Whoops. There's Benin. Is it up here? Oh, there it is. Yeah. So Portugal has Brazil. That makes sense too. So those 3 come out. Then they will choose a place a pirate in Indian and Alexandria. Exhaust all merchants in those nodes. And then ships die again. Which I don't think anybody loses a ship this time. Nope, France loses one. Spain does not lose this one anymore. They would have. I'm good, the Dutch are good. Everybody's good so far. So basically one of these pirates is here and the other one is here. Alright, so that was France. Okay, so now we have Castile, and I believe they've already passed. So we're on the verge of running out of, like, these guys could pass, and then we're going to have one more turn left. So that means I'm going to assume I have 2 turns left, and I'm not going to take an event. There's only one more event to be had. So I'm going to let them pick whatever one, and then no matter what, I'm getting ducats. Now, is there one of these that I absolutely want to have? Like, I can make the Emperor lose some imperial authority, which would make them not very strong. I do like the option, but at the same time, I like the fact that they kicked Denmark's butt and to keep them in check, and I also need them to kick Poland's butt. So I'm not necessarily concerned, and besides, if Denmark chooses this one, B will happen anyways. Now, if Denmark chooses one of these, and I choose the other one of these, then maybe nobody will choose this, but I'll worry about that later. Here, this is a Castile one. Again, there's not a lot of skin in the game for me. This is the one that's interesting. If I take a free trade action, targeting a maritime trade node, only I collect income from that action. However, a pirate goes there, which is not good for me. Then I have to add unrest to any 2 opponent towns facing a sea zone adjacent to that node. So I could cause France to get unrest, for example, if it's the English Channel. And then France would have to roll rebel dice. That would be an awesome way. For example, if they didn't core this, it would have been a nice way to get some of these towns back. But they're the only one that I can impact with the English Channel. Well, technically speaking, I can get these, but they're cores. So it's not like I'm going to get these to flip. Ooh, I could get that one to flip. Alright, so it's not a bad one. And I already have pirates, so I might as well just wait until more pirates get there and then kill them later. So for now, I'm not concerned about these. I can take any of these three and I'd be happy. Because this will have 4 ducats on it by the time I take it. So I'm going to look at this as I have 2 regular actions. And I am low on ducats. So unfortunately, if I want to play my advisors, I need 5 ducats. I only have 2. I can do an explore action and all these other things that I want to do. But I think I actually am going to do a trade action, which is unfortunate. So if I'm going to do a trade action, I might as well do that event. And I have this pirate here already, which is going to knock me down a notch. I'd only get 2 ducats for it. Oh man, what do I do? I am low on ducats. No arguing there. I have 4 cubes. I could always just do another trade action. I would like to trade in North America, actually. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to just spend more colonists. Let's get another town up. So we're going to get New England going here. And put another town in. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I can even do it one more time. The towns are getting me more income. So I do want to get my guy out, but I'll wait until I'm forced to. And if I have to, I might take another loan. I don't know. Alright, Austria. As you can see, no cubes. They got a lot of stuff going on, but they're done. So they will pass, and they gain a cube for that. Poland is down to 3 cubes. So even though they're at war, they are trying to pass. And they will. And so this is where it's starting. Then Moscow, down to 4 cubes. They are also, although, nope, no revolts. They are also passing. And then Denmark is down to no cubes. So they will do their event right now. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a pass and a pass from those two. But we'll find out. So for Denmark, they're going to take their own, which is not going to happen. So then they're going to take the leftmost. So that adds money on. And yes, Lombardy and Central Italy leave the HRE. And then the Emperor is going to lose 2 points and 2 authority. And Denmark will gain 1 cube. This is thematic because they don't really care for Austria very much. So what they're going to do is they're causing Austria to go down 2. But I can already tell you that they defended the HRE, so they're going to go back up 1. So, and then one of these cubes goes away. I don't really even care anymore, but we're just going to grab this one. And then 2 people left the HRE, so we got to use a token we rarely use in this game, and that's this one. So we got more tokens to add. So Central and Lombardy both left the HRE. So this section, these 2 areas, have these tokens that show that they're no longer a part of the HRE. So we got new lines. And that's how you remind yourself. Yeah, and we're basically done. So we move on from Denmark to these guys who passed and passed. And these guys are going to pass, which I think triggers the final round for us. It does. So everybody else gets 1 final turn. So we got Spain or France here who really can do something. They're not going to pass. They would do a defend and then move up to here and at least do a battle even though they can't siege it. So 1 is gone. And then who's left? Us and then Denmark, right? Yeah, and so we're not going to do, we're going to try not to do the event because that's a bonus action for us. We get one more action. If I want to place these guys, I need money. $5, which is another loan if I want to do that. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take another loan to pay for them. I know this is horrendous, but it's the easiest way to get them out. Otherwise, I'd have to do a trade action. What I want to do instead is I want to do colonize. So I have 4 colonists here. And we're going to get another town out. So I actually have all 20 towns out, which is excellent. I didn't get my stability up. There's a lot of stuff I still want to do. I got to pay off my loans, but we're going to be fine. We're absolutely going to be fine. And now that brings us to the end of the round. So I have to pick one of these. No matter what, the bottom pieces happen. So then it becomes a question of, do I want to do this and get another pirate? Which would, if it's the English Channel, I can do some unrest on France. Or this here would get me 6 ducats. And I can choose for Castile, who's in the lead, to lose a point. But they're going to gain 2 cubes. And then I would gain a cube out of the deal. Well, I think I want to do this. I want to get the trade action for the money. So that means Castile's going to have nothing happen to them. So that's gone. And yeah, we're going to get 4 ducats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put this over here. This already is happening. The ship thing will do, and then the triangle thing we already resolved. So let me see. I think from a ship perspective, everybody's good. So we're going to... we're just going to do a trade action. I can then add this to 2 opponents, and then they have to roll dice for just the ones I add. So let's see what we get. 1, 2. So I can do North America, but then I would have to get a pirate in North America, and that's the part I don't necessarily care for. I would easily get 7 ducats, which is not a large amount of ducats. But as you can see, I don't have anything else. So what I could do is just choose one and just try to screw over somebody. So like Spain, who's in the lead, or I have the Black Sea, so I can maybe get Poland to lose some territory. That would be the thoughts that are going through my mind. Or the Adriatic Sea, so I can cause France some damage there, or Bordeaux. So I wouldn't get any ducats at all. And then I would put pirates in those areas. It says that I can only you collect income from this action. So the fact that I collect no income is still fine. So for example, I can pick the Adriatic Sea. If I could pick Genoa, I can flip these 2, which a rebellion could cause France to lose them. And that's the part I want. I want France to not be so powerful. I want the same for Spain. Don't get me wrong. But France is who I'm bordered with at the moment. And I'm trying to be opportunistic. I need ways to take them down. That or I put a pirate in North America and take 8 ducats. Which the pirate is the annoying part. So... Genoa is an option. And it's any town, right? Not just... facing a sea zone adjacent to that node, okay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Genoa. And... we're going to flippity-flip these 2 and hope that they get liberated, since they don't have a core there. Right, that's it. We already did this. This doesn't happen. So now we're going to get ready to do end of round. Okay, so the first thing is always that the truces go away. And of course I don't ever mark the truces, but we're fine there. NPR invasions, which I don't believe there will be any. Actually, I've been getting it wrong. Yes, there is one. Because look, there's an NPR here called Brandenburg that is completely unharmed thanks to Austria. Ah, but I think they can't be allied with a player. NPR is not an active ally of a player. That's the reason why Brandenburg doesn't count. So, nothing happens there. This one, rebels siege or move. None on the map. Peace. So if I remember correctly, we have a war here. And basically, they have all the provinces in this area, so the claim comes up. They will take the claim back. And so they just gained 1, 2, 3, plus the claim is 2, 5 points for Poland. And since they took a claim up, they get to core it. If they have a cube, which they do. Oh. So there it is. Okay. So that means that this is now considered a core of Poland. No more revolts for them. Alright, this war here ends. And basically Austria is going to lose a point, and so is Denmark. Because it's a white piece. As far as wars go, I think that, oh no, this one ends. Spain, of course, got 1 point here. And then I don't think the Ottomans did anything. The Mamluks didn't. We didn't. France had a war. They got 3 points, and they now control the whole area. So they will get 2 more. And I think they get to core this. They have 1 core. This is their second. So yeah, they get to have 2 cores. So 2, 3, 4, 5 points for France. And to place the core, they needed a cube. They don't have a cube, so they did not get to core that. Let me make sure. I was pretty sure you needed a cube to be able to core. Listen to please. Spend 1 cube to place a core here. Yeah, they don't have the cube, so they don't get to core it. That's very interesting. They do get to remove the unrest. Same here. Remove the unrest. And Spain did not remove their core or claim, so they don't get to remove the unrest. And then, of course, this is Spain's alliance with Portugal. Okay, I think that covers that. Prestige penalties. So we got to look at the revolutions. So, for example, that's -1, -2 points for Austria. They're hurting in the points department. France gets -2 points for this. So that brings them down. And then Castile gets -1. I think that covers all those. That is it for prestige penalties. We're good to go. There's nothing, no marriages on fire, anything like that. All right, what do we got next? Religious dissent, gain or lose unrest, and roll rebel dice. Okay, so this is. I thought they converted this. Oh, they converted this one. So they got unrest here and here, so we're going to flip that one. And then Spain has a -1 unrest, so they get to flip one back. So that's 4, they'll flip that back. So basically they just stay the same. And they're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4 rebel dice. They lose a cube. We go to France. They have diverse faiths, so they get one flipped, and they're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. And all of these make them lose a cube, which they don't have. The Ottomans. I'm going to roll 2 dice. 2 revolutions. This one will result in a battle. Nothing happens. And they get one there. The Mamluks are clean. Everything's Muslim. So they're okay. Poland has a lot to deal with. This is still 2. It would be that one that would flip. You have 1, 2, 3 unrest. That would have flipped along with this one when they removed their claim. So they have 2. They lose a cube and have a rebellion. So the rebellion for them that they lose a town. Moscow has 1. They get a rebellion. This is a core. And Denmark has 1. I'm sorry, Moscow would have gotten... That would have been the only unrest they would have gotten. Denmark has Catholic everywhere. So they only roll 1. They get a revolution, but their army's already there. So they lose an army. Oh, other way. And then Austria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lose a cube. And unrest. They get to flip one back over. So we got 2, 3, 4. They would flip over this one. Because it's a best tax gain for them. That's everybody. We did France already, I believe. Yeah, because we started with Castile. Venice. Did we do Venice? No, there was 1. They lose a cube. Alright, moving on down. We're going to do our income. We got to do this part. So the Papal controller, they went down 2, they went up 1. They're at 4, so that 6 was not double, so they couldn't have gone up. But they could have gone down if they rolled poorly. That roll, by the way, you don't do it as a human HRE. This is just a bot NPR HRE mechanism. So we are still the Papal controller, and we're uncontested, which is amazing. So we get 3 more points for that. 1, 2, 3. That's like finishing a mission. It's really good. This we can't do to the end. I need to do that one. Holy cow, that's so doable. Yeah, end of stage 2. This one was my own fault, but I could still do this one. And that one I'll never do. So, we add colonists. I happen to add towns, so I don't have any to add. However, Spain, oh, they also have a town. So there's no colonists added this round. And yeah, we're going to do our income and reset everything. So here we go. So for me, the 4, 5, 6. However, I get to subtract 3 because I'm the Papal controller. So that becomes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is the expenses. And then we make 24. 26, 27, 28. So 28 minus 16 is 12. That puts us to 18 buckaroonies. I am happy with that. My manpower is now 10, 12. So here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is super important. We now have 9 troops available for us to hire. So we can actually put up an army that can compete with France now. And all that was possible by getting rid of the unrest. That increased our manpower. And then, of course, putting some more towns out. All of it good. Very, very good. Okay, cubes. This is 2 plus 3 is 5. Not quite as good as we had before, but I'm still getting good cubes here. This is going to be 3. And then this is 4. And somebody did remind me that you're limited to 10 cubes in any particular area. So this is, for example, 9 cubes. But there's a lot of stuff we can do. Like, if we just research something and spend 5 cubes on that. That's just one action. You can burn through 5 cubes in one action. As far as the missions go, I only have this one still, which really is in the bag. All I have to do is just move to one more trade node, and I have it. Because right now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4 trade nodes. I just need to go to one more. And what other one am I going to add? I honestly don't know. They all look hard. This one is also available. That's all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have 6 cards here. So what am I missing? Oh, there's the 6th one. So I don't have to look at it this way. I get all these cards are available to me now, except for maybe that one. But I think that one is too. I honestly don't know. This one looks hard. We'll do colonial ambitions. Maybe we could add the French one. Like if I could ever take advantage of France and conquer them, that wouldn't be bad. This is doable without having to go to war with France. This is my biggest issue. I do need to get that down. But if I can just gain 15 tax income, I could be the first to do this. And then look, I get 2 cubes in the all precious admin category, which I can use to boost myself up in multiple ways. Alright, so our income's done. The hardest part about playing against 9 bots is this part. This gets very cumbersome. So here you can see 3, 6. And then that's 7. And then I get to add 8 and 9. They get 2 more cubes because of their imperial authority. So we're good there. Their manpower is 7. Plus 4. So they lose 1 of their manpower. One and 1. This one is 8. Oh no, 18. So they get 2 more. Jeez Louise. They lose 1 of those cubes. And we just keep going. This is the part that, like I said, it's cumbersome. It's important though. They have 11. So they get 1 more now. That goes back. That goes back. One, 2, 1. I'm just going to drop them all in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 10, 12, 14. 2 more. There's 6. And 1 more. 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I've been missing... I think I have been shortchanging these guys a few of their armies lately. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 is all they have for army. Venice is just sucking wind right now. They were doing so well, though, for a while. But that's what happens. 1 war can ruin your day. Alright, so this needs to be done. I guess we made it through the first half of Age 2 already. So I need to split this into 2. And this one will wait. Pilgrims and merchants. Interesting. Spice trade threatened for Venice. Imperial intervention. We had one of these before. You can increase your authority by 1. That's pretty cool. And then this is going to cause those surrounding realms to have problems again. And the Tatar raids. So we don't know if we're in here or not, but these are the ones we're going to start with. This here is more of a Moscow, Poland. So none of these events really matter to us. This one can be handy because we can really mess with Poland and even France and the Burgundy area, and then also Denmark. This is a nice way to get them, especially if they don't have a core. So you can get them to revolt and maybe liberate. This one is very helpful for that. But the other thing to notice is there's no symbols for our advisors getting sick. And we get here. Just lose 1 cube. They have 6. I get 1 more. 1, 2, and 1. And 15. Yeah, France is still tough. There's 7 for them. And they get 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alright, we got that done. We're ready to start the next round. So I'll do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome. One thing I forgot to do, I do get 1 extra cube there, which is good because I'm not getting a lot from here. So I got a nice healthy number of cubes. I can do some pretty good actions. I can also handle a war. Very happy. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.